Okay, so just gonna skip straight to Genshin after, 5 seconds left. God damn it, Steam, I don't want you to open. Also, volume would be nice. There you go, volume's there. Cool. So, yeah, gonna be doing quests. First, we're gonna do the dailies, and then all of these. That's not gonna take forever. Okay, so that's plot. Yeah, I'm not doing the card one. I absolutely refuse to do the card game. Because I don't play card games. I've tried playing Legend of Runeterra. I've tried playing not Smite. What's the one? Gwent, that's it. I've tried playing Gwent. I just can't get into card games. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Don't be so paranoid. Yeah, it does sound like she's absolutely lost her mind. Okay, so now we are going underwater. I might have gone onto the wrong ledge. There you go. I actually kind of forgot what characters I have right now. I know I've got Eula, I know I've got Raisin, I know I've got a lot of 5 stars. What is the current... Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't finish one of the quests. Ooh. Who's the current banner? That's the current banner. Oh well.
Life goes on. Shine down.
Yeah. Okay. So I know I've already brought up the whole Unity nonsense thing, but I do find it insane that...
Let me scribe.
Okay, so I've actually done a bit more research to it. Yeah, research into it. God, I need to talk. And from what I saw, what was it? If your game doesn't sell, I think it's like 200,000 units, or install 200,000 times, and you don't earn some amount of money, the charge does not apply to you. Like, literally, it does not apply. It's only when you start getting, like, a lot of charges, you then start paying that 2 pence or 2 cents charge. Which, if you're earning a lot of money, does that really matter? Because for when I first heard it, I thought there was like, oh yeah, it's going to be like, I thought it was going to be like, oh yeah, you're going to have to pay like a ridiculous amount, like $5,000 per install. I was like, no, actually, it's not like that in the slightest. It's actually a lot more forgiving. It's quite literally 2 cents per install. Which, if you're making 200,000 and you're installing a lot, yeah, you'll be just fine. Also, games like Genshin, Honkai, unless people are uninstalling and reinstalling constantly, it's not going to be a problem.
Go.
But people just want to complain all the time. Oh hey, that was really easy. But no, that's generally what's happening. It's a really low charge. It's not. If you're an indie dev and you're making your first sale, you're not gonna have to start making ridiculous payments up until you start getting ridiculous payments. Like, let's say Undertale went to was built on Unity and was sold officially. Well, they'd still be getting money out of it, so it wouldn't be a problem. I don't know. I just read through the actual list, and it's like it's just a little out of proportion. Just people are panicking and just like, what do you mean I can't use your tool for free? It's like, to be fair, that's a generous thing. Be lucky they're not making you buy Unity outright. You can still use it for free. They could always just do the Adobe thing and be like, oh yeah, you want to use it? You have to buy a license. No, you can have a personal license, so you can have it out for free.
Rise.
So, I just don't get these people. Oh, no, sorry. I actually do get these people. Because they're selfish, and whenever it's like, oh, we need to charge something, they lose their effing minds. Because they don't want to spend money on things. But will spend money on ridiculous things. Like a Netflix subscription, where they will never buy the thing or watch the thing they're actually subscribing to.
Beg for good grief.
There is no escape.
Vengeance will be mine.
It's not time based, it's literally install based, and the install base only starts when you earn enough capital.
More speed. Shudder.
So if you're not earning capital
Life
and you're
goes
installing
on.
a whole lot, you don't get the charge either.
Picked the wrong
Because I think you have to get both in order to actually get the charge. But people will do as they want, and people will misunderstand or just refuse to read stuff when they see money. It's like, how dare you? It's insane. It's like, it's their software.
Thank
They
you for
could quite literally make it be
Add Astra.
professionals only. You have to pay £1,000 or $1,000 every month, and companies would probably pay that $1,000 or £1,000, because the alternative would be to, you know, rebuild everything from scratch on a different engine. But yeah, that's just. I swear, people are just. They don't pay attention. They just panic whenever something new happens, and it's just like, come on. You could just do. You could just
Faster.
be calm
Okay,
and be
faster.
sensible and ask questions instead of throwing a fit. But no, people will just throw a fit. Because why would you want to understand the situation when you could just have this imaginary situation in your head where, you know, oh, well, what's this? You're banning apples from the workplace. Oh, we can't have this. It's like, no, actually, I just told you to finish up your apple because it's annoying crunching. It's like, people will make really weird associations with what's actually happening versus what they just said. It's kind of worrying in a sense. Because it feels like they just don't know how to listen. And it's probably because they don't actually know how to listen. They probably know what the words coming out of their mouth are, but they'll just assume like 90% of what you actually said. Anyway, the point is that I think the whole Unity thing is, does it suck? Yeah. Do I
Sacred name.
particularly think it's a bad thing?
Illusion
No.
shattered.
Do I think it's
Inazuma
going to affect
shines
anything?
eternal.
No. Do I find it weird that people who would normally complain that companies aren't paying the fair share are now complaining that companies are now have to do their fair share with another company, and it's like, yeah, I do find it really weird because at the end of the day, people are hypocrites. They will. I should probably check my mic's actually working. Yeah, it's working. Cool. People are actually just they're just hypocrites. They will say what they want. If something that they don't like happens, yeah, they'll complain even though they have no understanding of what actually just happened.
Faster.
But they will pretend like they understand
Okay,
everything
faster.
because what's the saying? People are too old to understand everything, but not old enough to have knowledge. It's like. Point is, I think people are annoying and they need to just listen. If something happens, instead of freaking out, ask questions, figure out what's actually going on. Because I'm sorry, when I saw, well, I think there was even a death threat, and it's like, death threats, really, bomb threats, really. I'm sorry. If you're the kind of person who the first thing you're going to do is just start threatening people, no, get out, leave. I don't want you. I don't like you. You are quite literally dangerous to people for no reason. Just come on. Then again, I suspect half these people are they have an iPhone. I would bet that people complaining have an iPhone and actually have no understanding of money. Because they'll be like, oh, but iPhone, it's so good. I mean, I'm getting all this stuff that 90% is either pointless, worthless, or they don't properly understand what's going on, so they don't actually know the full value of the thing they're getting. But they'll have an iPhone. They'll just have whatever they want. And yes, this is me ranting.
Oh, what a mouth-watering smell. Paimon would
Ugh.
know the aroma of biryani anywhere. Let's go get some.
Some people think they're experts, some people think they know it all,
Well,
and some people think that they're truly good for no reason.
Huh, so you two are still hanging out together. Dia, didn't you say last time that you were gonna head back to the desert?
I said I was going to resign from being her bodyguard, not that our friendship was over. We're still the best of friends.
Wow. So aren't you going to return to desert? So I'm not being a bodyguard anymore.
The Homayanis also still post jobs from time to time. Their pay is always generous, so me and the other mercs never pass them up.
Yeah,
I
so
told
she's
Dia
a
to just
mercenary.
Stay at our place when
Because she
took one
was
of
a
those jobs
mercenary.
a few days ago.
Because mercenaries take all sorts of jobs.
My parents
Because
were
that
delighted.
is the role
They even
of
said that
a
it always felt like
mercenary.
we were missing someone whenever Dia wasn't around.
That sounds like something they would say, all right. They're always so welcoming.
Aww. How sweet.
Anyway, the job is already taken care of, so I was gonna head back to the brigade as soon as I finished a little shopping. But the master kept insisting, and I ended up staying for another day.
Okay.
You can stay for as many days as you want, Dia. Father hasn't even gotten around to treating you to his best dishes yet.
Daya, you're gonna get really spoilt at the end of
You
this.
know I'm not the kind of person to stay put in one place like that, my lady. Don't worry, though. There'll always be next time.
What? She said they'll treat you to the best dishes. I can't believe you can still refuse that.
I mean, she can refuse it if she wants, Paimon. She's not you, who would literally eat everything.
But wait. Didn't you say last time that you would take me on a trip to the desert? Why don't you just take me with you today, when you leave? There are so many places I still haven't visited yet.
I'm sorry, my lady, but no can do. There's still a few things I need to take care of back at the brigade. Besides, the desert hasn't exactly been the most peaceful place lately.
It's a effing desert. I would be worried if it was peaceful.
Oh, come on. Not this again. That's also what you said last time and the time before that.
Because it's a desert.
I know, I'm sorry. Just give me some more time, and I promise I'll plan the best trip ever for you.
Alright, fine. To be perfectly honest, it's not that I wanted to go, it's more like I feel like something is off about you lately.
Could you not have said that first?
Ever since you first set foot on the estate a few days ago, you've been acting anxious and even paranoid. Have you been delaying our trip because you've run into some kind of trouble?
Nah, are you
Receptive?
kidding? You're worrying too much.
Would you swear on that? Friends shouldn't lie to each other, you know. I wouldn't pry any further if you're willing to swear on what you just said. But if something really is bothering you, then just tell me. You know I'll help you however I can.
Yeah, that means something's up.
Looks like Dunyarzad was onto something.
I mean, yeah.
You're too perceptive, my lady. Seems I can't hide anything from you. I just thought that nothing good could come out of telling you about the messy happenings of mercenaries. Knowing too much only leads to more trouble.
Okay.
Mercenary life is a dog-eat-dog world where Mora reigns supreme. Everything operates on a completely different set of rules.
Okay. So what are these rules? Fudge. I have to get rid of BB.
That doesn't change anything about what I just said, though. We're still friends, and I can only support you if I understand what's bothering you.
If you want to know what's bothering me, fine. It's the Traveler. It's always been the Traveler. I've always been a pain in the arse.
My lady, you're not gonna stop until you drag it out of me, are ya?
Yeah, she's not.
All right, I'll share what I know. Let's go somewhere else first. This isn't exactly the best place for a discussion. Okay, let's talk here. Just try not to draw any extra attention.
Brings out drawing pad, draws something called attention.
As you may already know, the Eremites have both a lot of mercenaries and a complex organizational structure. Many mercs are no different than me, just going around looking for jobs to earn some mora.
Fair.
My brigade is called the Blazing Beasts. We're not a large group, but every member is loyal and brave. However, not all Eremite brigades are like mine. Some are willing to cross all kinds of lines for the sake of mora. The most notorious is a faction known as Deshret's Relics.
Okay.
Deshret's Relics? Judging from the name, they must really look up to...
King Deshret.
Yep, you got it. I've heard that you've already crossed paths with Ain al-Akmar. They're one of the groups under the Relic's banner.
Oh, you mean the group that tried to sell us the Divine Knowledge Capsule? Yeah, they weren't friendly at all.
Deshret's Relics is composed of many smaller brigades like Ain al-Akmar. The Relic's headquarters issues orders to all brigades under his control. On any other day, I would want nothing to do with them. Unfortunately, though, the brigade that's stirring up trouble now is none other than Dakan al-Akmar.
Dakan?
I think it means beard or something. Believe me, it's a really stupid name. I found it insufferable for years.
It's his name, though.
Anyway, the real issue is that Dakan al-Akmar is led by my father, Kusela.
Say what now?
I think I'm starting to understand your anxiety now. But what did they do?
Alright.
I won't go into details, my lady, but they've been involved in a lot of violent incidents. We're talking hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yep. The scenes tend to be quite gruesome, too. They strip the victims of all their valuables before murdering them.
Ooh.
Not only have they targeted merchant caravans and ordinary citizens, but other mercenary brigades as well.
That's beyond terrible. They won't even spare their own kind.
Nope.
I don't know how Deshret's relic sees it. All I do know is that Dakan al-Akmar has become more and more aggressive over the last few years. If I don't do something about them, then even my brigade or the people of Aru village could become their next target.
So just destroy them.
I just wish I knew what's driven him to do this.
Well, you've said it's
Yeah.
taken
How can
years
your
and years.
father
I'm gonna
do
say it's
such
corruption.
terrible things?
Like they've been getting more and more
I
aggressive
don't
over
know.
time.
People
So
change.
obviously, it's
He's
something
always been
deep
pretty
set.
pathetic. But at least in the past, there were still a few lines that he wouldn't cross.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
Nope.
I mean, if he was even remotely decent, then why would I have to leave the brigade and cut all ties with him?
Fair.
He was loud and foolish, with no real sense of purpose. Instead of doing anything useful, he spent most of his time drinking and chasing after women.
Alright.
Of course, the other brigade members were just like him. Their ruckus would go on night after night.
Sounds like a nightmare.
What about your mother? Did she ever step in to stop them?
Obviously not.
Unfortunately, I never knew my mother.
I'm sorry, Dia. I didn't know.
It's all right, my lady. That's pretty common in
So
mercenary
either it's
circles.
going to be her mother
Didn't I
died
mention that
to
my
this group
father was
defending
chasing
her,
after women?
or her
I was the result
mother
of one of those
joined
encounters
this
with some
group
random
to
person.
protect her.
He told me that he wasn't sure who my mother was. And in any case, she never came to see me. He'd say, "You'll be fine as long as you remember to stick with Dad." But even then, he left most of the parenting to the brigade. The one thing I do remember is that he used to tell me stories.
Alright.
But the problem was that he had terrible taste. He only knew a few stories, and even those tended to be pretty stale.
At least he tried.
They were tales of desert warriors defeating dragons in the forest, or stories of mercenaries rescuing princesses from rebel armies.
Alright.
Sounds like your typical fairy tales.
Yeah.
More or less, yeah. They were interesting maybe the first or second time around, but after about 20 repeats, they started to get a little dull.
A little bit.
He seemed to think those stories were the best things ever, though. He was so into them that he'd call the whole brigade over and make them perform the whole thing as a play.
I think he was doing that for you.
Even the toys he gave me would all be story props. I'd get helmets, shields, and toy swords. It was only much later when I realized that the shows were more for him than they ever were for me.
Oh.
What an interesting guy.
It doesn't sound like he had bad intentions. Yeah.
I've always found him pretty childish. That was something I could just shrug off. I had no reason to despise him. Until I grew up and learned the true face of Deshret's relics for myself. Looting, blackmail, violence, and fraud. They not only accepted such heinous acts, they would even openly boast about them. No one in the brigade
Yeah,
was any kind of
because
hero.
They're
Instead,
effectively pirates.
my father and his cronies were more like the bad guys that needed to be taken down. Did they really think that as long as they didn't do any of that stuff right in front of me, I would never know?
I think I can understand your feelings. The difference between perception and reality must have hit hard.
Yeah, but don't worry, my lady. It's all water under the bridge to me
Clearly
now.
not.
I had a huge argument with my father and left that place behind for good. I'm not investigating them due to any bitter feelings I still have towards my father. I just want to protect those that are close to me.
You just want to find out. Why is something causing so much more trouble? Well, no, they've been getting more violent over
Yeah.
time.
I told the boys to gather as much information as they could. Most of the reports concern violent incidents, but there's also some talk of smuggling.
I see. But isn't this investigation incredibly dangerous?
It is, but every mercenary lives life on the edge. It's a lifestyle that I enjoy.
That may be true, but it'll be impossible for those who care about you not to worry.
Well, now you get why I didn't want to share any of this with you.
Fair.
What should we do? They both have valid concerns.
Huh? But there's no need for you to get caught up in this mess, too.
Well,
It's
she's
literally
super
all the
tough,
Traveler
so if
does.
she went into the desert with you, then Paimon bets the problem will be solved in no time.
I'm inclined to agree. I'd feel a lot more at ease if you took her along to help.
You can count
I'll
on me.
wait for news from you in the city until then. Please, stay safe.
I'm honored that you care so much for me, my lady. All right, then let's get moving.
I mean, you literally you said that you're best friends. I'm pretty sure that best friends would do that anyway. Okay. Where is it? Oh, it's right off here. Desert and yellow don't exactly match. If I had a black shadow, I might be able to see it a bit easier. Like, just some inversion, just so I can see the contrast. There we go.
Hey, Dia, you're back. Are these two friends of yours?
Nope, they're food.
Oh, so you've already become like one of us then? Well, that's good to know. Anyway, since we've got newcomers, let me fill you in on what Dakan al-Ahmar has been up to lately. They've become extremely aggressive. Apparently, even their own now have become acceptable targets.
Ooh.
They even attack other relics brigades, just the
That
same
sounds
as
like
any
they've
other
gone
mercenary
insane.
brigade.
Even the most ferocious beasts still protect their own. It sounds like they've thrown that straight to the wind.
That's right. Once they've collected enough loot off the other mercenaries, they sell it off to a different brigade, or turn to merchants on the black market. A portion of their profits is immediately exchanged for more food and weaponry to be used in their next violent operation.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and it really makes you wonder why they're so desperate for Mora. A few days ago, Isham and I trailed them for a while, and even disguised ourselves as merchants to conduct trade with them. We were able to learn a few things from the exchange.
Alright.
Rather than saying they're out to plunder and hoard Mora, it'd probably be more accurate to say that they're experiencing an internal power struggle.
Wait, a power struggle?
Yeah, power
You heard
struggle.
me right. The vast majority of their victims are mercenaries from the other brigades of Deshret's relics. If their only goal was Mora, they could have gone after anybody. The targeted nature of their attacks points to a power struggle between the different brigades within the relics. That's the only plausible explanation we have.
Alright.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to find out anything more specific. It seems they're also trying to keep things under wraps. Oh, one last thing we discovered was that over the past few years, as Dakan al-Ahmar became more and more active, Deshret's relics as a whole became a lot weaker.
Sounds mighty strange to me, too. Harun, you can leave the rest of the investigation to us. Gotta say, though, I didn't expect you to go on a whole undercover mission during the few days I was gone. Sounds like you were really putting your necks on the line, no?
Nah, it was nothing. We're just as concerned about the situation as you are. Dakan al-Ahmar is your father's crew after all.
What he said. Besides, Dia, haven't you done more dangerous things than all of us combined? What we did is nothing compared to your experiences.
Okay.
Yeah. And while they went to talk with Dakan al-Ahmar, I took a look at the last
Well,
camp
no,
they
that's probably
attacked.
why she's
Any
concerned,
survivors of
because
the
she's
attack
done
were already
insane
long
things,
gone.
and you've done
There was
just
nothing
slightly
of
above
value
normal.
left in the camp.
Ah, Hisham and Khalaf. You're here, too.
We rushed over as soon as we saw you come into Caravan Rebat. Although this new friend of yours looks a little green behind the ears, I'm sensing a special vibe from her. Now that we know you'll have a capable partner with you, we can also rest easy.
Hey, what about Paimon? Feel anything special?
Oh, you're also planning to tag along with them?
Of course! Paimon is the traveler's most important guide. Wherever she goes, Paimon will follow.
Guides normally lead, not
In
follow.
that case, then you'd better take care of her too, Dia.
Don't underestimate Paimon!
You have no
Don't
battle
worry about
abilities.
her. She may look tiny and helpless, but she's been through just as many battles as the Traveler here. Even if she had only survived on sheer luck, then that alone would still make her quite formidable.
I had no idea. I guess I shouldn't judge by appearances.
No, you should judge by appearances,
Oh, one other
especially
thing,
in this
Dia.
case.
when you're free, why don't you update the deputy about your upcoming schedule? We held another recruitment event a few days ago, but everyone only came to see the Flame Main. You weren't around at the time, so people were pretty disappointed to only find our crew of rough, unkempt guys. The deputy put a lot of effort into the event, but it was basically for nothing. Only a few people chose to stay, and that really got to him.
Sorry to hear that. I'll be sure to bring him some great liquor next time. I left in a hurry and I couldn't make it back in time for the event.
Gotta admit, I can understand their disappointment, though. You're our brigade's main selling point, after all. Now, if only the deputy could figure out a way to bring a few more smoking hot members into our ranks.
Keep dreaming. Remember the last time I invited a couple gals into the brigade? You all just froze up with your mouths gaping like a bunch of scarecrows.
Yep.
The awkward silence and weird expressions left quite the impression on them. They were originally interested in joining us, but after that, they both told me they were too uncomfortable to stick around.
Hey, didn't we agree to never bring that up again?
Huh? Wait, are you serious? Why have I never heard about this?
I don't think you were part of the brigade yet.
Are you kidding me? I missed a once-in-a-lifetime moment like that and you weren't even gonna tell me?
All right. We can tell you about it later. Now's not the time.
Hey, don't you try to change the subject. You and Hisham get your butts over here and tell me everything right now.
Oh.
Are they always like this?
More or less. There aren't many rules or graces when it comes to mercenaries. We're used to just speaking our minds. If someone
Fair.
starts getting under your skin, you just yell right back at them. And if that doesn't put an end to it, and you just challenge them to a fight. But we also don't tend to take many things too seriously. Being direct and getting it all out of your system as soon as things come up is better than keeping everything bottled up, never talking about it. That's also why I never spare their feelings when I talk to them. If I want to laugh, I'll laugh. If I'm angry, then I'll unload on them. It's hard to stop once you get used to it. Though, I can never do that when I'm with the Homayanis. Hey, knuckleheads! Can you at least tell me the rest of the intel before you go back to your bicker?
Yeah, you hear her, Holof? Told you we gotta focus on the investigation first. I drew up a map. Right here is the spot. There you'll find the merchant caravan responsible for getting rid of Dakan al-Akhmar's looted goods. All you gotta do is wait and ambush them in the evening. They'll have no idea what hit them.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Be sure to pass my regards to everyone else in the brigade as well.
Will do. You stay safe, Dia.
Okay, so we've got a location. In the Dark Valley. Or click here. Teleport. There we go. Blooming heck. Oh, hey there. Sorry, wasn't really looking at chat. Alright. Let's see.
This should be the place. Let's find a spot to hide and bide our time.
I mean, it's midday, so we need to bide a lot of time.
It's gonna come down to a fight one way or another, so let's all be careful.
No need to worry. She knows her way around a fight.
Yeah, I've only been
I'm
in
not
like, how
worried
many
about
fights?
that.
Two,
What I meant is that we
3.
probably shouldn't go
At
too
least
hard
3,
on the enemy.
maybe 4.
After all, we still need to get information out of them.
So what would have happened if I appeared at night time? Would it have just immediately cut?
Ah, here they come. You ready? Let's not give them a chance to react and end this quickly.
And that's how we committed to genocide.
Let's get it on! Huh. Cha.
Well, I mean, they certainly got a chance to react, because we're just doing it one by one.
Hi.
Not too used to playing as Deha. They don't own her.
Life goes on.
5.
Look alive!
There we go. And done.
This one.
That was not a hard fight. I'm pretty sure I could have been AFK for about a minute and still be fine.
You're the Flame Main.
Good. That saves me an introduction. All right, time for a little talk. Are you buddies with Dakana Lakmar now? Tell me, what are they after?
Chicken nuggets. They're after
You know
chicken
the
nuggets.
code of being a mercenary just like everyone else. The first rule is to never divulge key information about our employer. What makes you think I'd talk?
Because she could beat you up.
That might have worked on an amateur, but I know you're just looking to protect your reputation. Think about it, though. What's your reputation worth if you won't have the other tools you need to succeed in this line of work? Tools like, I don't know, your limbs or eyes. You've got 5 seconds. You might want to think twice about how much your employer's information is worth to you.
Whoa!
She knows what
I'm
she's
not
doing, and I
joking
completely
around.
agree.
We can do this the easy way or the painful way. 2 seconds.
I'll save you the trouble.
He just poisoned himself.
Are you crazy? He tried to bite off his own tongue. Quick, search the area for any first aid supplies. I definitely didn't expect him to go that
Heyo,
far.
Arisia.
Thankfully, the wound wasn't too deep, and he just passed out from the pain.
But why would he be so extreme?
I just wanted to test his mettle. You can get a lot of mercenaries to talk just by
Well,
threatening
apparently
them.
his metal is pretty
I didn't
solid.
expect him to be willing to go through so much pain just to deny us some intel.
Well, he's out cold for now. We could wait for him to wake up, but maybe it's not a good idea to interrogate him any further. What should we do?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Bring him back
It'll
to
be
base,
a waste of
have
time
him
to interrogate him
effectively
again after
kidnapped,
that.
and
He
then
might just hurt
interrogate him
himself
later.
again if we start asking. There are lots of goods around here. Let's search the area. Maybe we'll be able to find something. I'm really sorry.
But no, that is a very extreme mercenary. They literally held their clients state before. I think it is their story quest. There's some weapons and boxes, as well as a bunch of medicine bandages. Next one is backpack. Yeah, I'm just kind of going through all the quests I have available at the moment,
Maybe
and
it's a record of something.
Dehaz is the
Let me
first
take a
one,
look.
so we're doing Dehaz's
This
quest
really
first.
is a merchant caravan. They should have a record of their transactions. Yep. I see an entry for Dakana Lakmar right here. Kusela, Idrisi, Bashar, and Takriti. All familiar names. Dakana Lakmar has been trading for a hefty supply of food, weapons, and medicine.
I'll be honest,
It
the
seems
names
that
at
in
one
the
point
past,
just stopped
they used to
meaning
receive
anything
some
when
canned
you have
knowledge as
so
well.
many you have to remember.
This caravan is just one link in their logistics chain. Once in the rainforest, the caravan will exchange the looted goods for Mora, and the funds will then be passed to a specific person.
A mule.
That person will then pack the caravan full of necessary goods, which will then be brought right back to Dakana Lakmar. Wait, why is there no Mora value recorded for the final transaction?
No value?
Yeah.
It's free.
Every transaction before the last one was marked with an exact amount of Mora, but the final one, where they paid for everything to be brought back to the desert, was simply marked as delivered. Perhaps. But they couldn't have known how much they would make off selling the loot. Do they not care about profit margins at all? Anyway,
Maybe
the next
they were
part's the
selling
records of the
something
goods
other than
themselves.
Mora.
There are a lot of entries. Everything was probably sourced from the rainforest. Huh?
What's wrong?
Shazaman Homayani?
Homoyani? You mean Dunyarzad's family? Could it just be another family with the same last name?
Nope,
I'd
never.
be surprised
It's
to
never
find
usually
someone
that
with
simple,
the exact
Paimon.
same first and last name. Shazaman Homayani is Dunyarzad's father, and the head of the Homayani family. Just what the heck is going on here?
Let's analyze the situation first.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll consider what we found and not jump to conclusions just yet.
Even though you're probably correct, 'cause that's how
What
the
this
story
piece
usually
of paper
goes.
confirms is that the Homiyani family has been providing goods to Dakana
I actually haven't been playing Genshin for a while because I've been playing other games, other RPGs, and
That's a
let's just say
possibility.
it takes a
but
lot of
if
time
that
out
was
of the
the
day.
case, why is this caravan specifically named Shazaman as their person of contact? They could have just as easily bought goods such as food and medicine directly from Caravan
hello,
Reebot or
Pilsent.
Port Ormos.
Perhaps been supplying the brigade's operations.
Yeah, funding violence and looting. The brigade gets the goods, and he is paid the proceeds from the sale of the loot.
But why would he do something like this? It's not like the Homiyanis are in need of money.
So they're in need of money.
Honestly, have no idea. I've
It's
been to their
either
estate
need of
many
money
times,
or
and
they
I've
are
never
rich.
noticed
I'm
anything
trying to figure this out.
suspicious. The only potentially large expenditure I could think of would be the treatment costs for Dunyarzad's Elazar. Maybe they borrowed a lot of Mora in the past? But that's still just a speculation. I don't think the Master would stoop so low to make Mora.
I don't think Dilazard. I still can't pronounce
You're
these
probably
names.
right.
I'll
my
eventually
lady's
learn it, but I
personality,
can't right now.
And she
It's
wouldn't
just
deliberately
too
keep
much.
something like this from us.
But what should we do now? All we found is just another mystery.
If we want to get to the bottom of this, we won't be able to turn back. Yeah, because we want to get to the bottom of
If
this.
you ask me, we already have no
You might as well
choice,
have just
but
said
I'm not worried.
to
It's too
abandon
early
this
to make a
would mean that we
verdict
can't
yet.
find out the truth.
I still
Yeah,
have. Let's
'cause
go
you
find
have
my
to
lady
get to the
again.
bottom of it.
We'll tell her everything and see if she's willing to lend us her support. If we're lucky, we can not only figure out the mystery of this paper, but also follow the trail of breadcrumbs to the people responsible at Dakana Lakmar.
Dia, are you sure this is the best decision? What if instead of getting the help we need, we just end up revealing everything we've discovered to the enemy?
I've considered that
we have no
possibility.
choice.
But even still, I want to tell her what we
Literally
found.
have no
She
choice.
showed genuine concern for me
Sometimes the
when we
best
first
way
brought
to
up the
move
topic.
forward is
I
to
can't
make a
repay her
mistake.
kindness with doubt and suspicion. That's not how I deal with people.
You're right. Paimon wants to trust Dunyarzad too.
I hope we'll be of help.
Yeah. Let's pay another visit to Sumeru City.
Back to Sumeru. I always find it funny that Sumeru City, it's not the name. It's the name of the entire landmass. Is that the way we put it? Continent, country. Like, imagine if you went to like France and you just went to French City. It's like, oh, okay, going to French City, not Paris, not any other place. French City. Here we go.
We're back, my lady.
Oh, you're back a lot sooner than I expected. You mustn't have run into any trouble then. Well, how did it go?
I mean,
what did you come up with?
Actually,
assuming
we're still
that Deha has
investigating.
problems.
It's just
no,
that
I'm pretty sure she's fine.
we've discovered something strange.
I see. The clues you found have led you back here, in the city?
Something like that. Yeah.
They've led us directly to you.
You all look a
we
little
accuse you of the murder.
spirited.
Wrong game, Deha. Right?
Whatever
Wrong
you
game.
found
No
must
one's been
not have
murdered
been
yet.
very encouraging after all. Why don't you discuss it with me? Maybe I'll be able to say something to cheer you up?
It's okay, my lady. It's not so much about me being upset with my father or anything like that. How should I put this?
It's your father
So
we're upset
something
with.
is wrong. Even the Traveler and Paimon have been uncharacteristically quiet. On any other day, Paimon would have already waved to me with a smile and shouted, Dunyarzad, we're back! So
She's
tell me,
way too perceptive.
what happened?
Holy hell.
My lady, please prepare yourself for what we're going to tell you next. It concerns the Master.
The Master? You mean my father?
No, we mean God. We mean that master.
I understand. Don't worry about me. I'll listen as attentively as I can.
Alright.
My father has been supplying goods to Dakan al-Akmar?
As far as we're aware.
Yeah. it makes as little sense to us as it does to you. I've never doubted the Master's integrity, so I'm having a real hard time rationalizing how he could ever support an infamous brigade like them. Maybe he's not actually aware of the full story and just stumbled into the deal by accident.
Feels unlikely.
I can't help but agree with the
Don't
traveler.
exactly get to a big deal by accident when it
you
has
feel the same
a
way,
lot of
Junior
influence.
Thank you for sharing all this information with me. Since you've told me everything you know, I should also tell you about some doubts that I've been harboring for quite a while. In
It
the
all
past,
started
I thought that my
started
father hired a
35 years
bodyguard for
ago.
me so that I wouldn't run away and get lost.
There was more to keep an eye on you.
However, there are plenty of capable mercenaries in the Corps of 30. Why did my father go out of his way to hire Dia?
About that. Well, the Homiyanis really needed bodyguards, so they reached out to the Blazing Beasts.
Okay.
Later, the Master told me that I was one of the best mercenaries he'd ever seen, and that I
Got
should stick
that.
around to
I
become
don't
one
know
of his
why.
bodyguards.
My phone's been
He
really
offered
having
me a
issues
pile of
connecting to the
mora,
Wi-Fi
so
recently.
I just signed on.
Means can't really
Well,
load
but
things
that
on my phone
didn't
properly
really
for
answer my
no
question.
reason.
Just think about it. Why did my father specifically
Fact,
reach out to
let
the
me-
Blazing Beasts?
Oh no, seems to have
Maybe the
connected.
Corps of
Seems to be
30
fine
just
now.
didn't have anyone available, or maybe someone recommended us. I've never given it too much thought. I think I get what you're saying. You'd think none of this was a coincidence.
It was all
Precisely.
planned.
At first glance, nothing seems strange or out of place. But there
It's
are
not
many
gonna be a
parts of the
case
story
of
that don't
Deha's
actually make any
mother
sense.
Somehow
If my
got
father had
wrapped up
always been
all
in
this.
contact with Dakan
Is it?
al-Akmar,
That's not going to be the story.
then it would make sense for him to bring Dia into her house.
You mean the goal all along was to get Dia to be your bodyguard?
No, that's too much of a stretch. I cut all ties with my father a long time ago. He has no control over my life anymore.
Well, so you
That
think.
still
Haha.
doesn't rule out the possibility that your father has still been trying to influence your life without you knowing.
So, the Master was not likely an innocent victim in all of this?
That's what things are looking like.
Sorry we put all of this on you so suddenly, Junior Zod.
It's okay, Paimon. I should actually be thanking you. Regardless of his reasons, if my father has truly been funding a violent group of mercenaries, then it's my duty to bring him back to reason.
But
not
is
exactly.
that really the
Not your
right thing
duty
to
at all.
do?
You
My
might
father
want
has
to or
committed
need to
many
do that, but it's not your
atrocities
duty.
and
so
deserves
to
all
say.
the punishment that he has coming to him. I have zero sympathy for him. He may call me an ungrateful child, but my feelings will remain the same. However, the Homiyani family has treated me with nothing but generosity and kindness. If we decide to investigate this further, we could end up implicating the entire Homiyani family. I would be biting the hand that's fed me over all these years.
You'd also be affecting your friend, their
It's all right,
friend's
dear.
family.
If anyone were to
Literally
ask,
everyone in the
you could
community.
always just say that I'm the one who instructed you to get to the bottom of this.
You don't have to do that, my lady. I'm not conflicted because I'm afraid of taking responsibility. Besides, you're the one we should all be worried about right now.
Exactly.
Hey, it's still too early to give up hope. What was that thing about friendship again?
True friendship is built on
Right,
trust,
yeah, trust. You said that yourself, Dia.
and we have none
There's
left.
no point on getting all riled up before we've confirmed all the facts.
Then he probably has many conflicting feelings
Thank
as
you,
well.
everyone. That makes a lot of sense. I guess I should always remember the trust that I've placed in people. In which case, my lady, could you ask the Master to come out and have a chat with us?
Sure thing. I also hope he'll be able to give us a logical explanation. Let's meet at the usual place then.
Okay, logical explanation. Will they believe aliens? They are.
Right.
Okay. So now. I could just teleport, but be a little faster running. Well, I don't think we're going to get into a fight anytime soon.
Thank you for coming, sir. Please allow me to introduce these two. This is the Traveler, and next to her is her travel companion, Paimon.
Ah, yes, my daughter has mentioned them from time to time. It's a privilege to finally meet them in person.
How they just
But
have the
we
same
may skip all the
male and
pleasantries
female
for now.
faces for all
What is
different
the
age
important
ratings.
matter
The
you wish to
only
discuss
difference
with
is
me
the
today?
hairstyle and the
Well,
clothes.
we wanted to bring this transaction record to your attention. There's something on this record that we're all pretty curious about.
So, that's what you found? Huh. Seems like I can't keep everything from you much longer.
So I have
If
to
you
kill
wouldn't
you
mind,
guards? Snap,
we'd
snap.
like an explanation.
Well, it's a long and difficult story. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not sure if I'm doing the right thing.
Ooh.
What I do know, though, Dia, is that the truth will bring you no solace. If anything, it will likely cause you a great amount of anguish.
I mean,
Wait,
it's already anguish right
me?
now.
Yes, I understand perfectly why you came to see me. And I am touched by your collective commitment to do the right thing. But knowledge always comes at a price. And sometimes, as they say, ignorance is bliss. Your father, Kusela, and I both believed that. Of course, you have the right to seek and learn the truth, but I must warn you. The facts of this matter may reduce everything you've built for yourself into sand, blowing in the wind. If you must proceed, then Kusela's heartfelt efforts will also fade into the wind like a fleeting mirage.
Jesus Christ.
His heartfelt efforts. I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not sure I follow.
No, I have no
I've
idea
made
too.
it this
Why are
far
you
in
telling
life
us
without a
this if
single
you're that
drop of my
concerned?
father's support. I have my own ideals and ways of looking at the world, as well as people and causes that I've chosen to cherish
Are
and
you
fight
sure?
for. None of these things have anything to do with him.
Are you
I
sure?
came here today to support you as the head of the Homayani family. No warning will change my stance on that.
I understand. Then let me tell you a little story. Our family once needed to take a trip to the desert when Dunyarzad was just a baby. Along the way, we were attacked by bandits. They had superior numbers and quickly overpowered our bodyguards. When all seemed lost, a group of passerby Eremites lent us their support.
Alright.
Those Eremites were Kusela's brigade, Dekan al-Ahmar. Kusela's men told me that the attackers were Eremite mercenaries, just like themselves. I was shocked. Why would Dekan al-Ahmar go so far to save us and not spare the fellow Eremites? Kusela was grinning and walked over to play with baby Dunyarzad. She was startled by his unfamiliar face and nearly started crying.
Oh.
Really? I never knew.
Because you were a baby.
He said that he had no particular reason to help us. He just took pity on us because he had a daughter about the same age.
Oh.
We started talking about our children, and I sensed that he was a devoted father. To repay his kindness, I hired his brigade to help out at our estate for a time, and offered everyone generous remuneration.
That lasted
So,
forever?
that's what happened.
It was many years before I saw him again. I almost didn't recognize him the next time he came knocking on my door. The man I knew to be strong and healthy had been reduced to a shell of himself. He couldn't even walk anymore without his cane.
So, what happened to him? He was perfectly fine when I left the
Probably
brigade.
acting that way.
I'm not too sure myself. The only thing that didn't change was his cheery disposition. He said there was absolutely nothing to worry about and that he had gotten into a fight. That was all. He then suddenly asked me if Dunyarzad, now that she had grown, would need a bodyguard of her own. At the time, Dunyarzad was going through a particularly severe bout of her Elazar. There was no need for her to have a bodyguard when she could barely leave the house. But he kept coming back to the topic. Come on, it never hurts
Really
to be
was
safe.
pushing.
How do you know a bodyguard won't come in handy one day? I was completely lost at first, until he recommended the Blazing Beasts, and in particular, a mercenary named Dia.
So he was the one who recommended Dia to you.
Indeed. He didn't say it out loud, but it was clear that he saw Deshret's relics as an evil group who would eventually corrupt every member in their ranks.
Okay.
He was already beyond redemption, but he hoped that he would be able to detach his daughter from the vicious world of mercenary life.
Oh.
If Dia could stay in my house and keep working as a bodyguard, then gradually her affinity for the desert would decrease, and she'd be able to leave her previous life behind.
But that didn't work.
And that's why you offered her such generous compensation?
Yes, but not just because of that. From the moment that he asked me for that favor, I also began to see Dia as my own daughter. And that's also why I tried to persuade you to stay when you asked for permission to leave. I was willing to spend however much it took. Kusela saved my daughter and me all those years ago in the desert. I could never refuse him entrusting his daughter to me.
He was always like that, acting like he's oh so smart and self-righteous.
Kusela said that he'd reimburse me for a portion of Dia's fees. I refused to take any mora from him, but he'd always sent me funds anyway. Eventually, I just accepted them as a token of his gratitude. And that went on for a while until I received another letter from him a few years ago. The letter contained a request to help him buy food, weapons, medicine, and even explosive materials.
Wait! Isn't that around the time that Dekana Akhmar started becoming more aggressive?
That's right. Now, when I started to hear some nasty rumors, I became wary. I wanted to meet him face to face to discuss things. But by then, he was no longer receptive to my requests to talk. If I had to guess, it's
Or
probably
maybe
because
he
he
was
doesn't
dead.
want to put Dia at risk. That thought occurred to me as well.
Yeah, I think he
I
died.
figured that he probably came to me for help because he had nobody else to turn to. After some deliberation, I decided to send him some food and medicine. I turned down all his requests for explosives and weaponry. I am aware that even such a reduced gesture of support could lead to others coming to harm, but I could not simply reject
He
his
was being
plea for
used.
help. In the end, it probably was the wrong decision. I plugged my ears to the rumors and just chose a solution that made me feel least guilty about myself.
Okay.
If you can, please tell me where he is now. None of the things he's doing right now make any sense if he's just trying to keep me from getting tangled up in his world.
Because it's not him.
If all he wants to do is steer clear of me, then maybe he shouldn't have brought me into this world in the first place.
Jesus.
Oh no. Dia, please don't feel that way.
I'm just angry because I can't wrap my head around any of his actions. Another way? I don't know. I knew him, and he was nothing more than a childish brute. I can't understand what's going through his head, but
It's not him.
I guess
again.
you do have a point. We haven't uncovered the whole truth yet. We still need to figure out his exact actions and reasoning for these last few years.
I'll do my best to help. Of course, anything between the two of you would need to be resolved between you and him. I don't know Kusela's exact whereabouts. Outside of supplying his brigade with some goods, I tried my best to avoid getting involved any further with him. However,
Okay.
there's a man on the list named Jawed. He used to be a mercenary in the desert and is now a member of the Corps of 30. He's responsible for supplying weapons and liaising with the Dekhan al-Akhmar's merchant caravan. I think he should know Kusela's whereabouts. I've heard that he likes to have a few drinks alone and enjoy the cool wind at night outside the tavern. Maybe you'll be able to find him there.
Okay, so you have to wait
Understood.
at night.
Thank you,
outside
sir.
tavern.
I'll stay and be with my father here. To be honest, I'm still a little dazed and haven't finished processing everything quite yet. My father has indeed done something wrong, but if I think about it, I'm also not sure if there was a right way to handle this problem. I feel like our only course of action is to turn everything we know over to the Corps of 30 and let them render judgment.
Yes. I am prepared to accept whatever verdict they choose. It's time to
I mean-
face my mistakes.
To be fair, you probably just didn't know it was the person being taken over. Night. So, if we just... I think this would be nighttime. Jawad.
Huh? Who are you guys?
I know what you've been up to. Smuggling weapons to violent brigades in the desert while working for the Corps? Pretty bold, if you ask me.
Shh! Keep your voice down. How do you know all that? Come with me. We should take this elsewhere. I'll be happy to talk things over once we're some...
Okay. So, is this just a case of being threatened?
Right. Back to my question.
Don't worry about that for now. You know what kind of punishment you'll face once we report you to the Corps, I assume.
Wait. There's no need to jump the gun. Let's talk this out. What are your terms?
So what's in it for you anyway, Mora?
Your life?
Well, I was a little tight on money at the time, and Kusela took good care of me in the past. I waited in my mind, and I couldn't find a reason to turn the opportunity down. I wouldn't only be helping my benefactor, but I could also make some quick Mora.
Let me tell you how it is. We're investigating Khan al-Akmar, and we're gonna put an end to their operations. If you provide some help for us, then we might just put in a good word later to reduce the terms of your punishment.
Hey, why don't we discuss this a little first? Listen, I made quite a bit of Mora from my last run. You just give me a number, and I'm sure we can...
I have a feeling you're not making it easy for yourself.
My patience is running out. You should know when a mercenary is after something other than money.
All right, sheesh. But you gotta promise you'll put in some nice words. They're always on the move. Here's the spot they were at the last time I made my delivery to the desert. Feel free to go have a look. I'm just telling you though, it's not on me if they're not there anymore.
Sure. And then you can forget about any nice words from...
Hey, come on. Now you're just being unreasonable.
Really? And how do I know you're not leading us straight into a trap?
True.
Don't forget, you're the one with no bargaining chips.
All right, I get it. Why don't you go take a look, and if they're not there anymore...
Now that's more like it. Let's move.
Wait, so nothing's actually changed.
You,
it was
try to
literally check them. If it doesn't work, return, which was the original agreement anyway. Thank goodness I have all the teleport spots. It would take forever to walk there. Although at least this quest doesn't span the entirety of the map, like other quests I've seen. Just gonna Spider-Man way. Or do the Spider-Man thing and just swing from spot to spot.
Seems like we're in luck. That should be their camp right up. Let's go. We'll finally get to the bottom of this ourselves.
Alright.
I'm here to see Kusela. Tell him to get out here.
Tia,
okay.
Why are you here?
Freeze to the core.
Oh, so they addressed her by
There is
name.
no escape.
So that means they weren't actually expecting her.
Hi, cha. Huh. Hi. Ha, ha. Look alive. Ha. Ha. Illusion shattered.
I still find it really hard that I press 5 when I naturally want to press 4 to get to the end of my list. Which like, it's nice it gives you 5 units, so you're not going to game over
done
any time.
enough?
Oh, so are you also here to stop us?
Stay out of this. It's got nothing to do with you.
More speed.
Cha.
Okay.
Higher, higher, hands on fire.
So is this the last stage, or are you going to have even more enemies?
Wheel of life.
Go. And now to beat you up.
You asked for it. Huh.
Aww. Didn't get through the entire combo.
She's so strong.
Enough fighting. We all know each other, and I don't want to take things too far. Just bring Kusela to me. There's no... Did you understand a single word I just said?
All right, everyone, let's all just calm down. Dia, The boss can't come out and see you anymore. He died a long time ago.
Called it.
What?
Seems like you've been out of the loop for a while. Guess that's for the best, though. At least, that's what the old...
When did he die? What happened?
A few years ago, Kusela broke up Dakan al-Ahmar and went to the Deshret's Relics headquarters.
So is that when you guys started acting?
We would prefer to call it taking revenge. Every last person in Deshret's Relics must pay in blood for what they did.
Okay.
Let me start from the beginning. Dia, do you know how the head of the Relics maintained order?
Overwhelming strength and unquestionable authority?
Those were a part of it, yes. But just those on their own weren't enough. They had another tool at their disposal. They called it a person's record.
Okay.
Regardless of whether they joined by their own will or were coerced, every person in Deshret's Relics were forced to leave a record of themselves at headquarters, whether it be their deepest sin, some unforgivable act, or their most immoral exploit. The record served both as a symbol of loyalty and the perfect material for blackmail.
Okay.
That's precisely it. Every one of us have a record. Me, Bashar, Tikriti, and all the boys who grew up with Dia and ended up joining our ranks. But you, Dia, you were never asked to provide a record, were you?
I never even knew this was a requirement.
You were probably the only person in all of Deshret's Relics who didn't know about it.
Ever since you were born, Boss had been trying to shield you from this organization's sinister rules. Not only that, but he also banned all of us from committing any nefarious acts. He said he'd take care of the dues we had to pay regularly to head. But in the end, he was just an ordinary person. What could he do? He was forced to go to headquarters again and again to account for missed dues and incomplete records. He'd come up with all kinds of excuses and get beaten up as a result.
We all knew he was doing that for you. He wanted to get you out of this world, no matter what it took.
And he
that's
did.
why he became a shell of himself and couldn't walk without a cane.
Wait, but that doesn't make any sense. I didn't know about any of this, and I'd never...
Because you were too young at the time. How would you ever tell between wounds from a beating and wounds from battle? When you left home after that final argument with him, he seemed to age by a decade overnight. Even his hair went gray.
So, even the Blazing Beast...
Yep. It was all his doing. Had he not arranged them to come to you, you probably would have been reduced to a pulp before you ever left the desert.
A few years ago, Boss said he needed to make another trip to headquarters. He was already pretty weak then, and we all assumed he was going to get beaten again. I suggested that he hand the role of leadership over to me, but he said there was no longer any need, since Dakan al-Ahmar would soon be no more. His words made no sense to me. But that night, we heard that a massive fire tore through headquarters and razed everyone's records to ash.
Everyone gained their freedom that night. Many members fled, not just from our ranks, but from the other brigades as well.
Okay.
But how could we leave with a clear conscience? All of us who knew exactly what had happened.
The boss can't have just died for nothing. Those heartless jerks at headquarters took him from us.
Alright.
From that point on, the sole purpose of Dakan al-Ahmar became revenge. The big fire that Boss started was quite a blow to headquarters' strength. It's given us the opportunity to launch our attack, even though we're outnumbered. We vowed to see our revenge through to the very end. There were people from headquarters who changed their names and went into hiding. Some fled to other brigades, and others escaped to the rainforest. But we won't let any of them escape our wrath. They'll all pay for what they've done.
We've suffered plenty of losses
So are we
as well.
now going to attack the headquarters?
To keep going,
or are we
need
just
an
leaving it
enormous
there?
amount of supplies.
We're going to attack,
From
aren't we?
Food, all we can do is exchange our loot from Mora, and then use that to get supplies. We forged Boss's handwriting and sent out many letters to his former friends. Thankfully, many people were willing to come to our aid.
Because for him...
We were also able to attract many mercenaries who shared our goal. We've endured unspeakable pain to win many impossible battles. Deshret's relics have become weaker and weaker, and now we finally have an opportunity to directly strike their headquarters.
Okay.
Paimon doesn't know what to say anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like the situation was a lot more complex.
We do know right from wrong, but we were sinners from the very beginning. We do not deserve the freedom that the boss won for us with his life. Boss always loved his old-fashioned hero stories. Those tales about sacrificing yourself to save the world. We used to always laugh at him for it. But in the end, he really went and lived those stories out himself. As for me, I never considered myself a hero. We're all the lowest of the low. We have no right to even imagine such an existence, but maybe those hero stories he liked foreshadowed everything that was to come. The spirit of the hero touched all those he had saved, and more people joined his cause. Maybe we were all just acting along with the play in the beginning, but as we acted the parts and recited the lines, we were drawn in, and now we want to see the story through to the end. I'm sorry, Dia. I know you always found us insufferable ever since you were young. Just think of this as a madman ranting.
Ooh.
I'll go with you.
Huh? Dia? You...
I grew up with these guys, and I know they're not bad people. It's just that some situations get so bad that it's difficult to tell good from evil. All I know is that Deshret's relics must be destroyed. Furthermore, I want to go see the place for myself. I want to know if my father is still there.
If he is, he's probably
I know you don't want to get involved
nearly
in this,
dead.
so there's no need for you to tag along. I can do this on my own.
On your side.
Paimon feels like we'd
Because
only
we're not
regret
letting
it
you
if we
die,
don't see
because
this
the
through
story
to the end.
has to be completed, and also, this is your story.
Thank you. We'll be a lot stronger together with you.
I bet Boss would lose his mind if he ever knew you'd join us at the very last moment like this.
What do you mean?
Considering all
if
the
she
losses
joined
and
us?
injuries we
God damn
sustained,
it.
we can't afford to turn down someone as powerful as you.
He can think whatever he wants.
I mean, to be fair, she was
But
the one
fact
that
is,
gave you the
I
injuries
owe him this much.
in the first place. So, yeah. Also, you have base next to a scorpion. I am surprised no one is trying to fight it. Let me check just a couple of things. And that's a couple of things. Ooh. Okay, I'm on the berry. I am on the cusp of the rings. Whoops. There we go.
Is this the entrance? We sure didn't run into much trouble on the way here.
Yeah, mainly because we
Should
flew
be.
over everything. We need dendro, electricity, and pyro. So, pyro. I think I'm gonna keep you. The dendro, I'm gonna have you. And pyro again, I'm gonna have Bennett.
Let's go out and play.
There we go. That should be fair enough. Oh, but it gives the players the
Paimon
anyway.
didn't expect it to look like this on the inside.
They should all be holed up in here. Don't know how many people they've got left, though.
It's gonna be one
Who
of the children,
cares?
isn't it?
We'll round up all of them.
Still, we should be careful. Even if they've only got one shot left, it could still take us out.
Yeah, we'll know what they're really capable of once we've landed some hits on. Deshret's relics may have been a force to be reckoned with before, but their name means nothing now.
Yeah, they don't stand a chance with you here. I'll take the lead. I've been here once before.
Oh, we get companions, party members. Nice.
Shine down. The fuse is lit.
You are not
Good bishop down.
Oh no, he's
Let's
like
light
nearly
it
dead.
up. Everybody stand back!
I did not realize Bennett was nearly dead. Whoops.
Kick the fract.
Illusion shattered! Fire hazard!
There we go. Nope.
Torn to oblivion!
Well, it's so helpful when you have a literally the Shogun.
Let's light it up! Keep going in!
You got a Shogun, you've got a Scholar, you have someone who just does fireworks.
Buckle up! Gloves off!
There you go.
I'm getting Here comes the
Just to mention, that attack is just attacks that go on as long as you keep pressing the
process of elimination.
attack button. If you jump, you cancel the entire ultimate, so
This way,
don't
follow
jump.
me. We're almost there.
Alright, so what's the twist?
Wait! They went charging ahead without checking for any.
Hey, you guys okay?
You guys okay?
It seems like we just got trapped in here. Don't think.
Watch out, the enemy's coming from ahead.
Well, now that things have come to this,
Don't worry about us. We knew something like this could happen. Go and take a look around. Let's go! We can't let the boss stab.
Let's check if there's another way. The
They're
sooner
all
we
dead,
can make
aren't they?
Let's see. I think I see a way through over there, but it's being blocked by something. Let's try.
Okay, let's.
Alright. You know it'd be interesting? A time limit here. Raise. Change color? Oh, that actually worked. Oh, right, okay, I see. I just kind of goofed into that. I actually wasn't
There
paying
is
too
no
much
escape!
attention.
The fuse is lit.
Right.
Let's light it up! Shine down!
I do sort of dislike it when enemies get this tanky, because it just kind of becomes you're hitting them,
Teamwork is
they're
dreamwork.
hitting you, who falls first. Here we go.
Another mechanism like the one before, but this one's being blocked off in the middle.
We just need to adjust it a little.
There we go. So this one needs to go lower. This one needs to go lower. Or this one has absolutely no use and is just there for the first part of the puzzle. Pretty sure it's just there for the first part of the puzzle.
Illusion shattered!
No.
Time for a light show. Goldfish of Doom!
I'm so glad I got you here, because I've literally got a really strong unit.
Look alive! You
Nope.
asked for it!
Boom, 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 boom.
Defract.
I think I'm
Shine
still
down.
dealing damage to it. Yeah, I'm still dealing damage even when it's invisible. Which was that a chain? No, that must have always been the case. I always thought when they're invisible, their damage was turned off, so they just didn't take damage until you dealt with the contraption.
The fuse is lit.
Ooh. This is kind of what I mean. We're now at a point where everything has so much health.
Now you shall
And-
perish! Illusion shattered!
While I'm fine tank-wise, it's just tedious to get everything done all at once.
Here come the fireworks!
There we go.
Flicker.
Gloves off!
Boom, 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 boom. D-Hard does a lot of damage. That's 9,000 a punch. Ooh, and I think she does like 7 punches. So she is doing nearly 50,000 damage. Okay. Raise. Raise. Go. Let's just change your color to...
Adventure time!
And you also have to be purple. And I have to change it back. There we go. Ooh, treasure chest. So we're nearly
I
in.
wasn't expecting anyone to make it through from the other side, but as a desert dweller, I suppose we should be used to our folks defying all expectation.
Don't waste your breath. You have nowhere to run.
Run. Had I wanted to run, I would have fled 1,000 times already.
Fair enough.
I witnessed the golden age of Deshret's relics. Even if I could leave this place behind, all that awaits me now are endless days of humiliation and ruin.
All right.
Even now, my brothers and I still believe in one thing.
The Cookie Monster.
The greatest should never live to remember their fall.
So you want to go out in a blaze of glory.
Let us draw our weapons. We will show them the true power King
Just remember,
Deshret
the
bestowed
King
upon his
Deshret
followers.
actually was with the old
They are but two, while we hold
Archon,
within ourselves
and they actually were
the
good friends
entirety
and
of-
actually good people. These people are literally just
Wave one, charge!
heretics.
Eliminate them!
There is no escape! Everybody stand!
I've got to heal.
A process of elimination. Well now.
Illusion shattered! Fire hazard!
There you go. Not going
Flicker.
to give you a moment. Also, I like it. It's like wave one, attack, and it's like
We're just getting
you
started.
could just do multiple waves. Like you could just attack endlessly, and you would win by default.
You're dead meat!
Because Deha could just kill you all on her own.
Teamwork is dreamwork!
Here you are.
Shine down!
Gotcha.
King Deshret will not abandon any one of his followers.
Well, no, you've abandoned King Deshret because you're literally becoming heretics.
Scatter. Now you're testing my patience.
Goldfish of doom!
Go.
The field, let's light it up! Hi!
Go.
Brothers! With me, this is where we'll prove
Oh,
our
finally, we're
faith.
gonna fight the big guy now.
Do you all just want to die?
None of us plan to leave this place alive!
Oh, yeah, well,
There is no
wanna die.
escape!
That's
Like
the plan.
storm.
Your sacrifice is ready.
Time for a light show!
Oh, they've got a blooming
Here
crocodile.
come the fireworks! That didn't count! Come on!
The golden slumber.
Okay, so
The
we just
commander has
destroyed them
finally
all.
fallen.
But they're still coming at this place is like a gladiator's ring. They just keep coming no matter how many we beat.
Yes, keep fighting! There's no need to fear, and no need.
When the next wave comes, try to draw away their attack. I'm going to see if I can take out that high platform.
Okay. Oh,
Get out of my way.
Come and face me, Michel! Ugh, so they've broken through the front as well.
Apologies, Lord Michal. They fight like absolute madmen. No matter how much we throw at them, they just keep coming for more.
Kick, 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 kick. Aww.
So, it would seem like this is the end.
Time to pay for everything you've done, Michel.
You think I would give you that opportunity? I will be buried in the sand alongside all the rest of our fading glory.
Hey, wait!
We were too late.
It's over. There's no more need to fight. But if you're still going to cling on to your so-called mercenary's pride, then I'll give you all...
Hey, dear! I found the mechanism. I'll get you all back up here right away.
Let's go.
I actually missed that. Okay. A little bit excessive for what was literally a small gap. No. Activate the elevator. Whoop!
Who are you filthy rats? And why are you always pestering us?
You call yourself a member of the infamous Deshret's relics, and you still can't even tell who's made it all the way to your headquarters?
Who knows what intent a bunch of rats may have? We try to catch a couple, and you all just show up on the other side instead. How are we supposed to figure out what you're after? Hey, have you ever heard of a man by the name of Kusela? Why would I know? It's not like I'm in charge or anything.
This is your last chance to talk.
Hey, I said I don't know anything. If you're here to find someone, why don't you look through the records yourselves? Who can remember every name and...
The irony. His life became a light for so many, yet to others, it wasn't even worth remembering. Where's the records room?
It's right over there. All the files are in there. You can go through them as much as you want.
I mean the old records.
The old records room? You mean the Kusela? Ah, yeah, I remember him now. The guy who could hardly walk. Watch your mouth. That's our boss you're talking about. He was definitely faking it. We all let our guard down as soon as we saw him come hobbling in. But in the short time it supposedly took him to take a dump, he'd already gotten away and started a fire in the records room. He couldn't have possibly outrun us if he wasn't a fraud. And after that, Deshret's relics fell into complete disarray.
Stop wasting our time. Every one of us here is perfectly aware of what he had done. Tell me, where is the old records room?
It's just over there. Go see it for yourself if it means that much to you. There's nothing left in there but ashes. No human could ever survive that kind of inferno. Bashar, Tikriti, let's go. We'll leave the others here to guard these guys. Spare them no mercy if they try anything.
Alright, let's... The barrier over here as well. Oh, this is where that guy got... Okay. Let's see the old records.
So, this was his final destination. How did he do it? Getting past all the guards with a limp and sneaking in here to start a fire? If he was nimble enough to do that, then he must have been able to get out of here after starting the fire, right?
Assuming he was alone.
I'm sorry. I know it's just wishful thinking. Let's look around. Maybe we can find something that's been...
I mean, you are looking for something years old. Not 2 or 3, like 5, 6.
Is this a cane? It must be the one that Dia's father used.
Yep.
Kusela.
Thanks for everything, boss.
We're fortunate to somehow find that cane after that fire.
Let's split up and look around some more. What if something else has been left behind?
But what else could survive a fire like that?
Huh?
Lord.
Thought so.
Wait! Isn't that the toy sword you played with as a child?
The dragon is no more, for Princess Dia has slain it.
Our young Dia.
Its head now hangs above the city gates. Her bravery has brought eternal peace and prosperity to us all. Dia, come on. This is the most important line.
You can do it.
But Dia, you defeated the dragon. Everyone's waiting for your speech. Still too shy, huh? All right, I'll do it. I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more.
I hereby proclaim our victory. Evil shall plague us no more, Dad.
So sweet. But he defeated them all. Okay, so that entire effect is like gone.
What's this?
All in Paimon.
Don't you remember? You asked Paimon what she would do if she were to wake up tomorrow with loads of money. And Paimon said that she would get boatloads of tasty snacks. You looked super confused at the time, but said it was an adorable thing to say.
Aww.
These opportunities don't come by often. So today, Paimon's gonna treat you to a special crash course on Paimon's life philosophy.
It's really my cheap, you get the point. She rarely spends her allowance on other people.
Hey, come on! Paimon's not that stingy. Anyway, the point is that you should eat to your heart's content. You'll feel better for sure once you've gotten something in your tummy. Dunyarzad will also be here shortly. She's already heard that we're back.
Aw, thanks, you two. Honestly, this is very unlike me. I just had a lot on my mind on our way back, so I didn't know what to say.
I mean, to be fair, you had your kind of philosophical end.
My chest was filled with all kinds of intense emotions. They just shook me even more than all the feelings we've shared during our previous adventures. But when everything came to an end, those emotions also vanished without a trace, and I was left feeling more empty than ever before. It was as if I'd lost the thing that was most important to me.
Yeah, you thought you'd absorbed it.
Yeah, you're right. To many mercenaries, Mora is the most important thing in the world. But perhaps to us, it's the most worthless thing of all. Idrisi and the others all used to say that they would quit if there was no Mora to be had. But when it came to avenging my father, there was no Mora to be made anywhere. My reality shattered when I found out that the father who always told me hero stories was in fact a bad guy. But look at me now. Am I any different? Despite all my promises about never forgiving him and never trying to understand him, I still went to such lengths to find out the truth, and nearly even shed tears for his sake. We're hypocrites. All of us.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a pity that we often only recognize our true feelings after it's already too late.
You're back! Are all of you alright?
Ah, there she is.
Yeah. Many people from the Corps of 30 came over, and I just wrapped up everything with my dad. All I can do now is wait for their verdict. Huh? Dia, you're looking quite down again.
Paimon will explain. A lot happened while we were gone.
I'm sorry. I really should have controlled my emotions better. I just...
It's all right, my lady. You were hurt by all of this as well. Truth be told, I'm starting to feel a little guilty watching you cry like this.
But Dia, your pain must be even worse. You shouldn't need to comfort me.
Hey, don't worry about me. If anything, this whole thing has finally shown me the difference between illusion and reality. My father probably thought that people could settle into new lives as long as they moved to a new environment. That thought has even crossed my mind a few times. However, there was always something deep within my mind that refused to accept it. This impulse brought me great turmoil, and even made me feel ashamed for turning my back on your father's kindness. But now that I consider it again, it all makes sense. The desert sands are a part of who I am, and I will never be able to lead a peaceful existence.
I understand how you feel.
That doesn't mean I won't be making any changes to my life, though. As an example, I'm now thinking about taking on some small odd jobs. It's just like Idrisi said. I also want to catch up to my father and become a character in his play. Even if the ending of the story may be childish and ridiculous, it won't really matter.
Isn't that neat, though? Oh, you'll be a whole new kind of mercenary, one that's not out for Mora. Why don't we go for a change of scenery once we finish eating? What about stopping by the Grand Bazaar again?
Right. You said you wanted to get a rug for your family.
We'll come along too.
I can't thank you enough for taking care of me this entire time.
this rug here is quite something. The craftsmanship is exquisite, and the fabric is also of high quality.
Ah, here you are. Finally, I found you.
Hey! Aren't you that
Apparently phone
mercenary who
calls are
bit
just
his tongue?
things
You
that
can
happen
still
all
talk?
the time.
Wait, are you here to take revenge on us?
What are you talking about? Do I look like I could take you all in a fight? I just came here to give you something. I'll be on my way to give myself up to the Corps after this.
Oh.
Once I woke up, I hurried to the Khan al-Akhmar's camp, hoping to alert them to your presence.
Oh, he
But when I
can't
got
actually
there,
talk properly.
I found no one except the members who were still too injured to move.
Ah, so you probably got there after us.
Yeah, they told me that they had exacted their revenge, and everyone had turned themselves in to the authorities. Even that last camp was not going to last for much longer. I had joined the cause to repay an old favor from Kusela. Now that everyone's already turned themselves in, I might as well do the same.
Okay.
One of the injured members gave this box to me, and told me that it contained some of the old man's last possessions. Everything left in the camp will get confiscated, so I figured I should get this to you before the Corps could get their hands on it.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. We are all just living our own truths. There's no need to comment or judge anyone for it.
So this box contains everything that Dia's father left behind. Huh. It feels lighter than
Probably
expected.
gonna be related to Diha.
Well, back in the day, the first thing he did with any Mora was spend it on things like drinks and meat. But let's see what's inside. What's this? It's just a bunch of junk. Ugh, it kinda stinks.
Perhaps it's just been left unopened for too long.
A handwritten copy of a storybook. The paper's already yellowed, and it looks like it's about to fall apart. It was against the Academia's rules to possess books for personal use. If he was going to break that rule, he could have at least copied something useful.
That probably means this was really important to him.
Ah, and here are a few bags of children's snacks.
It was
The
for
packaging's
you.
completely deteriorated. Maybe that's where the smell was coming from.
Did he get those for you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Even when I was a child, I was never a fan of these kinds of snacks. He'd always say that he got them for me, but in the end, he always ate more than I ever did. Who even leaves snacks in a box like this anyway? Isn't that just common sense? Forget it. Let me see what else is in here. A razor, some buttons, some round iron tiles, a wooden toy puppet, a wool scarf, which from the looks of it probably belonged to a woman, and a hair clip? Why are
Remember
these
that story
things here?
earlier on about her mother?
I'm suddenly feeling a little scared.
I'm sorry, my lady, but this is just the kind of man he was. He probably saw this box as some kind of personal trash heap and dumped any and everything in there. 2 empty liquor bottles. Tell me, you guys, are these the kinds of things that a normal person would leave behind?
Interesting man.
Huh? There's something in the bottle.
Oh, you're right. All right, I got it out. It seems to be a piece of paper with some writing on it. The bottom part's all damaged from moisture, though. Let's hope the writing didn't smudge. I was suddenly seized with an urge to write a letter after finishing this bottle. I just folded it up and left it in the bottle, though. If I end up forgetting about it, it won't really matter. To Dia. It's a letter for me? It's all right. I'll just read it out. If he went to the trouble of writing a letter, there must have been some important things that he wanted to say. Or at least record down.
My condition's becoming worse and worse. Can't even walk without a cane anymore, much less go out and have fun. Guess I don't have many days left. If you're reading this letter, then I suppose I'm already long gone. You were adorable as a baby. Everyone loved you. And regardless of whether you were crying or laughing, everyone enjoyed having you in the group. But once you grew a bit older, you were no longer nearly as happy or cute. It's probably the guy's fault.
Can you believe this guy? He can point the finger at himself.
Anyway, back to the point. To summarize, I'm writing this so you would know not to feel sad for me, even if you end up finding out the truth. The reason being that I was never your father to begin with.
Oh.
Wait, what?
That
Surely, he must be joking, right?
I don't know.
I was quite formidable when I was young, and 100 times cooler than some so-called flame main. Really felt like the whole world was under my feet. With just a teeny tiny bit of effort, I felt I could rule over the entire desert. But as fate would have it, I went out into the desert for a drink one day and discovered a baby in the sands. It was you. You were just lying there, small and helpless. You were so tiny that if the wind blew for just a little while longer, you would have been buried forever. But your cries were so loud they made my head hurt. Now that I think of it, you really were a bundle of energy.
Sounds like he's serious.
I told Idrisi and the others that I had slipped up with a woman while out and about. None of them even doubted me. I'm sorry that I had to lie to them for so long, but I really had no other choice. I was their most esteemed leader, after all. It's not like I could just tell them that I suddenly wanted to play at being a father. At this rate, I'll puke up all the liquor I just drank from this bottle. Anyway, Dia, you possess the kind of freedom and kindness that we could only dream of. As far as how you should live your life, that'll be up to you to decide.
That's the end of the letter. In the end, he was still thinking of me as a little child. I suppose, or I would have suffocated under the sand a long time ago.
He was a good father to you. The fact that he wasn't a blood relative doesn't change that.
Yeah. It's just a pity that we had to learn the truth of everything like this.
Do you already have some ideas about the decision that he wanted you to make?
I do. If he first found me alone in the sands, then I want to try my hand at finding the person who abandoned me. I just have one wish. To tell them a story. That there once existed a childish and foolish jerk with a heart of gold. And that only under his care was I able to grow and mature into the person I am today.
If you end up finding any leads, can you share them with us? We go on adventures all the time. Maybe we'll be able to find some information for you.
Sure, I appreciate it. I wasn't expecting you to be so enthusiastic.
I'll help too.
Thank you. All of you. Thank you so much. My life has certainly had its twists and turns, but I've always considered myself lucky. Because no matter where I've gone, I've always been surrounded by incredible kindness.
And that's the end of Lion's Blood. I actually kind of liked it. I wasn't expecting DR to be adopted. I suppose it kind of makes sense that there was no reference of... Well, the only family was the father. And that was it. Right. So many dudes to be insane. So I'm not doing this one, I'm skipping this one, but I will do this one because this one has the time limit. How long have we been going on for? 2 hours, Jesus. Alright. Hopefully this will be a short one. Hopefully. I probably should have picked not going down, should go up. Makes a lot more sense. Go up. There we go. There we go. Barely. It's up over there. Okay. Getting forever to do quests. I'll probably have to do it during my week off. So I'm just going to collect this for now. I'm going to collect that. But yeah, Deha's quest. I liked it. I liked it. Is it? He was just in the sand, found Deha, and it's like, hey, he became far thicker. And that probably explains why he was a little silly.
Here you go.
Yeah, the next
The fuse is lit!
you did everything right. He might have done evil things, but in the end he was good. Where? Up here. You're really
Shine
far
down!
away. Wow, you were really far away. I don't know why you're that far away.
Illusion shattered!
A process of elimination.
I keep hearing the Kirby sound effects, and I don't know why. Okay. Oh, am I supposed to? Okay. I forget how these ones work in particular, because I know if I hit the opposite, it should break it. Yeah, that got it. I have to go so far away. I have to snipe this. Okay, there must be a way to actually... there you go. Both blue. Closer. The enemy's here.
There is no escape! Huh? I'm going in!
Here you are.
Fire hazard!
Chest. There you go.
Ooh, will we find any
Ooh, that's
firework
full.
materials in here?
5 gems. Ooh, and a potted plant. Nice. Alright, yep. I'm gonna call it that for now. Peace.